In this video, I'm going to teach you things that you can start doing today to get out of a rut and stop being lazy. I have a feeling this video might be long, so I'm going to put some timestamps on the screen. This might help in case you're looking for something specific. The first thing we're going to talk about is discipline. If you were to take one thing from this video, let it be the fact that discipline is the thing that's going to get you out of a rut and get you where you want to be. Discipline is going to be the thing that's going to help you be productive and overcome laziness. And I am so sorry because you're not going to want to hear this, but the truth is that motivation, it's not always going to be there. If you wait on motivation to start something, for example, if you're like, I'm gonna start when I feel like I'm ready to start, you're never gonna end up starting. Or if you do start when you feel motivated, what's gonna happen is you're gonna eventually stop after a few days because your motivation's gonna go away. Discipline means doing the thing that you need to do even on the days that you do not want to do it. I'm not gonna lie, being disciplined is not easy by any means. It's definitely hard and challenging, but you know what else is hard and challenging? Staying in a rut, continuing to have bad habits, but this time you're looking back a year from now being like, wow, my life is the exact same that it was a year ago. I literally did nothing, I didn't grow. So to be honest, it's gonna be hard either way. You're kind of just choosing your hard. But if you go the route where you're disciplined, your life is going to change and be better. So you might as well just do that. And honestly, I can make a whole video on how to be disciplined because I have a lot of tips. So let me know if you wanna see that as like a full video. But for the sake of time, I'll give you just a few tips. Step one is to reflect and think about why do you want what you want. You want to be really clear about your reasoning so you can know what to expect from your hard work and discipline. To give you an example, the reason it's important for me to keep my room clean is because I feel relaxed, I feel calm, and I feel happy when my room is clean. And it also looks good. Typically, I notice my reasonings for doing things are to create a feeling or to take care of myself. So try thinking about the feeling it's gonna give you or the benefit that it's gonna give you. And then when you're about to do the thing that you need to do, remind yourself, I may not want to do this right now, but I'm gonna do it because after I finish, I'm gonna feel so whatever. I have to do this all the time with working out, trust me. At this moment in time, I'd say like 80% of the time, I do not want to work out. I always have to remind myself that it's gonna make me feel good, I'm gonna be proud of myself after, and it's gonna be taking care of my body. Also remember that the hardest part of anything is starting. The hardest part is getting in your car and going to the gym. The hardest part is going in the kitchen and getting all the pans and everything out to start cooking. The hardest part is putting your shoes on and getting outside to start your walk or your run. Once you're in the middle of doing something, it is smooth sailing once you're already doing it. So just remind yourself the hardest part is starting. So just start and just get it out of the way, and I promise it's just gonna be a lot easier once you just force yourself to just start. Another tip I have for discipline is try to reward yourself after you complete whatever it is that you're doing. So for example, this could be, okay, once I'm done with my workout, then I can watch my favorite show. Next, let's talk about our physical health. Taking care of your body is a really big part of getting out of a rut. One of the best ways to do this is by having a healthy diet. For most people, this is gonna look like a well-balanced diet. I'll put a picture on the screen of what this looks like in case you're not aware. Pretty much you're just hitting all of the food groups that you need to be hitting to get all your nutrients in. So if your body's deficient in a nutrient, meaning if your body doesn't have enough of the nutrient, you're gonna feel bad. Because honestly, you can be doing all of the things that I'm gonna mention in this video, but if you're not consuming the nutrients that your body needs to be healthy, you're gonna feel bad. I take one supplement and that's sea moss. I'll put some benefits of sea moss on the screen, but the reason for this is because sea moss contains 92 of the 102 minerals that your body needs every day. Sea moss is an all-natural multivitamin. If you've been following me, you know I've been talking about sea moss for years now. I'm obsessed with sea moss. It healed my skin. You can even use it as a face mask, especially if you have acne-prone skin. Trust me, use it as a face mask and just ingest it and watch your skin clear up. It's amazing. But yeah, I'll link it in the description for you. I think I even have a discount code that I'll also put in the description. Another thing that's really important for your physical health is to stay hydrated. A lot of the time, the symptoms that we have, it's due to dehydration. You want to make sure you're drinking spring water instead of purified water. And if you are drinking purified water, add some like pink Himalayan salt or Celtic salt. Honestly, I just drink spring water to make it simple because you need water with minerals in it because that's going to be electrolytes. Another drink that's super hydrating is coconut water. Honestly, I don't know if this is just like an American thing, but body armors are my go-to drink. Body armors are made of coconut water, So that's definitely the drink that I get at the gas station. But even if you're not drinking a body armor, you could also just get coconut water and add lime to it. It's so good like that. Now let's talk about exercise. Another way to take care of your physical health is by moving your body daily. This could be as simple as going on a walk or dancing in your room, doing a stretch, or this could be you going to the gym or playing a sport. I'll give you some of my tips on what has made me be consistent in the gym. Disclaimer, this is just what works for me, so take it with a grain of salt. Wearing cute gym fits. This could just be me personally, but when I go to the gym in leggings and a big t-shirt, I honestly just don't feel my best. It's like when you look good, you feel good. And it definitely motivates me because once I have my gym fit on, I'm like, okay, I'm going to the gym. Like I have to, my gym clothes are on. I have so many too. I'll link some of my favorites in the description in case you wanna check that out. Another thing I suggest is doing your workout around the same time every day. Because when you do something consistently over and over and over, as you know, it becomes a habit and it becomes part of your routine. So for me, I wake up, eat breakfast, I'll do some cleaning, and after that I go to the gym. And every day I just know that now. I know that after I'm done eating, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna clean and I'm gonna go to the gym. And it's become a part of my routine. And the way that I was able to do that is by going to the gym at the same time every day. So I highly recommend choosing a time and sticking to it, and just make sure that time fits with your daily schedule. Like if you go to work at 9 a.m. and you know you're not a morning person, don't schedule your workout to be in the morning. Or if you know yourself and you know that once you're out of work, you're way too tired and you don't want to work out, maybe do your workout before work. Like if you have school or work, just think about the times you go and do those things and think about, is it going to be better for you to do it before or after? And I probably should have said this earlier, but I really want to emphasize that to get results from working out, it's 80% about what you eat and it's 20% about the exercise itself. Truly, your diet is going to be the thing that you want to really focus on. Honestly, focus on that first. So just keep in mind that it's really important what you're putting in your body. The next thing I want to talk about is having a clean environment. My first piece of advice is having a home for everything. This is seriously so important because if you have, say for example, you have like a birthday card that's just been laying on your dresser for months now. If you don't have a home for something, it's important to make a home for something. This way, your space is not going to be cluttered with unnecessary things. And also, if you're ever looking for something, you know exactly where it's at. Another thing is to declutter. I feel like people don't talk about this enough. But if you don't declutter, your space is gonna be overfilled with things that you simply don't need anymore. And you might think that you need these things, but you really have to take time to look through everything. You're gonna be so surprised. Probably like 90% of that stuff you don't want or need. And trust me, I am telling you from experience. I used to have so many things, but I've been moving a lot lately. So it kind of forced me to declutter, but then I realized, why don't I do this more? So now every season I make an effort to declutter. My next tip is whenever you leave the room, leave it cleaner than you found it. How you can do this, grab anything that does not belong in the room. It takes literally 30 seconds to do that, and by doing this, you're keeping your space clean. I heard this rule this one time and it really stuck with me. It's the 2-minute rule. The rule is if it takes 2 minutes or less to do, then do it right then and there. And that rule, it's amazing because it keeps your space clean. Another tip I have for doing things that you don't love doing, such as like doing your laundry, doing the dishes, maybe you're mopping, honestly anything that you don't love doing but you need to do. I highly recommend putting on your favorite show or putting on a YouTube video or even listening to a podcast, especially if it's something like mopping or sweeping where I can't like watch the screen, I'll put on a podcast. But when I do my laundry, I put on a YouTube video or I put on my favorite show and it makes it go by like that. I literally used to hate doing my laundry, but now I look forward to it, which is so crazy. Like who looks forward to doing their laundry? But it's actually relaxing because I'm watching like my show or I'm watching a YouTube video. Next, let's talk about self-care. Self-care and resting and recovering, that's just as important as being disciplined and putting in all that hard work to be productive. Because seriously, I can tell you from experience, and I'm sure you've experienced this too, if you're not taking time to take care of yourself and do things that make you happy, and you're just trying to be productive all day, every day, what's gonna happen is you're gonna burn out and you're gonna go back into a rut. So I'm gonna give you some tips on how to not do that. When I think of self-care, I think of things that are relaxing or they're fun, they're enjoyable, something that I personally want to do, something that fills my cup. Some examples of this could be practicing a hobby. And I feel like with hobbies, everybody's always like, I don't even know where to start. I don't have hobbies. I don't know what to do. I would also be happy to make a video about this. Let me know if you want to see a video where I talk about hobbies that you can try. Because just so you know, I read every single comment. So if I see that a bunch of people are commenting, hey, post this video, I'm gonna prioritize posting that video next. So it honestly really helps me to see what you want to see. But anyway, some hobbies that I've been doing lately. Number one, painting. You know what? I used to think that I never had time for painting, but what I figured out is I had time. I was just using it to scroll on social media, which I'm gonna get into that also in a bit. But let me show you what I've been making. Hang on. Okay, she's a work in progress, so don't judge me because I'm still working on this. But so I'm moving into a new apartment. But anyways, I make a matcha like every day. So me and my roommate, we're gonna have this kind of like drink bar section. I'm gonna have my espresso machine, matcha, the wine stuff, like all that. So I decided to paint us this. But this has been so fun for me. And one thing I'll say, when you're doing a hobby, don't feel like you have to do it for like a specific amount of time. It's supposed to be something that's fun and relaxing for you. So for example, I sometimes would pull this out and I would just paint for like 5 or 10 minutes. But lately I've just been painting. I've been making jewelry, making some like DIY like home decor, some arts and crafts. I've also been skating. Also, a hobby could be working on something that you're passionate about. I think you really just have to dabble in a few things, experiment, and see what you like. Other than doing hobbies, try to find things that are just relaxing or they're fun for you. It really is important to do these things though, again, so you don't burn out. Another thing that I think is so important is taking time to reflect. I feel like this is something that most people don't do enough. I think especially with our generation, a lot of the time people, instead of taking time to reflect, they kind of just want to distract themselves, especially with our phones and social media being so easily accessible. When we have free time, we're just like, okay, I'm gonna get on my phone. So you're honestly gonna have to go out of your way to do this, but trust me, take time to reflect. Go on a walk and think. Because when you're reflecting, that's when all of your really good ideas are gonna come to you. And I promise you, that's gonna change your life. Also, I am so sorry about the lighting. The sun literally just went down. Anyways, now let's talk about reducing screen time. When you really think about it, we spend a ridiculous amount of time on our phone. I think this is one of the biggest reasons that we get into ruts, because instead of us spending our time doing good things for ourselves, exercising, doing hobbies, socializing with friends, getting outside, exploring things, living life pretty much, we spend hours just doom scrolling. So if you want to have more time to do everything I've been talking about in this video, reducing your screen time, that is really going to help you. It's going to free up some time for you and allow you to do those things. Now let's think about the root cause of why we get on our phone. We get on our phone because we want to relax, we want to pass time, we want to be entertained, and it's also really easily accessible. So I think the solution here is finding something that ideally is easily accessible, that makes you feel relaxed, allows you to have fun, allows you to pass time. And thinking about it, I really think that is your hobbies and your self-care. Because for example, the other day I was bored and I wanted to do something, so I was about to get on my phone, but instead I continued to work on my painting. If I was to give you examples of things I think you would do, I would say number one, reading. Read a book that you're interested in. If you go to the library, you can literally get books for free. Watch a YouTube video that teaches you something. Subscribe for more videos like this. You can walk and listen to music. You can play some brain games on your phone. You could call a friend or a family member, or again, work on a project that you're passionate about. The second thing I suggest is removing your social media apps off of your home screen. On my phone, I literally have to scroll and then tap a folder and then scroll and tap to get on social media. Making it harder to access gives you some time to think about, do I really want to get on social media? Also, turn those social media notifications off. I actually did this a few years ago and I never went back. That notification is just giving you a reason to get on the app. And I promise whatever that notification said, that thing is still gonna be there on the app when you do go on it. And the last thing I'll say about this is download apps that are gonna help you reduce your screen time. The next thing I wanna talk about is your spiritual health. I never realized this until I started reading, but the Holy Bible teaches you how to become the best version of yourself. The Bible teaches you so many different life lessons, teaches you how to become a better person, a better friend, a better partner. And I know that it can almost seem daunting to read because it's just such a big book and you're like, I don't even know where to start. So I'm just gonna give you some tips that really helped me. My first tip is to find a time of day that works for you to read. I'm gonna be so honest, as much as I want to wake up and read in the morning, at this very moment in time, waking up and reading, it just isn't working for me. But what does work for me is reading at night. I really love just putting on my PJs, wrapping up in a blanket, lighting lighting a candle, drinking some tea. Sometimes I'll even put like jazz music with the fireplace on my TV just to set the mood. And then I just read, and I really enjoy doing that. Another thing I'll suggest is getting a version that you can understand. I know I had the King James version originally, and I'm not gonna lie, just the terminology, it was kind of just hard to understand. When I first started out, I didn't know this, but every version of the Bible pretty much it has the same concept. It's saying the same thing, but in different words. So the New International Version, it's the NIV version. That, in my opinion, is like the most beginner-friendly, easiest to read version of the Holy Bible. I'll actually show you mine real quick. I have these tabs on the side too. And again, it's like that concept with you look good, you feel good. Like my Bible is so pretty and it's just so me, like I want to pick it up and read it. I really like this Bible. I like that there's space on the sides. The text is pretty big. It even has cute little like detailing. I just really like this. I'll link this in the description too because I got this from Amazon as well as the little tabs. But yeah, I keep this next to my bed, so obviously like it's easier to grab. Another thing that's really helped me with studying is just getting like a little journal. Like I got different colored pens and markers, and so I just enjoy writing in here because I feel like I get to be a bit creative, but also I'm learning at the same time. Another thing that's helped me to be consistent with reading is read however much you want to read. This is the thing that has allowed me to actually be consistent, because when I used to tell myself, okay, I'm gonna read 2 chapters, but then I low-key did not want to read 2 chapters, it just felt like I had to do it, and it just made me not want to be honest. But now I'll literally just pick this up and I'll be like, okay, I typically pray before and I'm like, God, show me what you want me to read. And another thing I do is, honestly, right now, I'm just opening it to like wherever I want to read or wherever I feel like God tells me, like, go here. I'm not reading it like from the very front. I was doing that for a while. Like I started in Genesis. Lately, I've really just been enjoying opening it up wherever I want, and then if I want to read just 1 verse or 2 verses, then I will. But sometimes I end up reading like a lot, and so just removing that pressure of like you have to read this amount, it gives you that freedom and flexibility to just read whatever you want, and it makes it an enjoyable experience, so you're more likely to do it again. But yeah, with being in a rut, the thing is that God, he's always here. You know, if you'll let him and if you'll accept him and let him be a part of your life, he will help you get out of this rut. He's gonna help you overcome this laziness. And I mean, yeah, you might face some challenges and uncomfortable situations, but the thing is that God is actually making you stronger through those experiences. Life is just hard, and I learned from reading this that we're not supposed to be doing life alone. God is literally here. He's waiting for you to just talk to him and be like, hey, I need your help. And he's gonna remove some weight off of your shoulders. The next thing I want to talk about is socializing and making new friends. It can be so easy to neglect socializing, especially when you're in a rut, but you need to know that when you do this, it causes you to feel lonely, it causes you to overthink, it can increase feelings of depression and anxiety. So whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, it's good for you to socialize at least once a week. The science behind this is spending time with other people. It increases happy chemicals in your body like dopamine and oxytocin, and these happy chemicals, they make you feel good and they give you motivation. So at least once a week, try to make plans with your family or your friends to meet them, have them over, go somewhere. And if you don't have that many friends or family members, or if you just want to make new friends, then I do have some tips for you. Because to be honest, I moved to this very big city from a very small town. I did not know a single person when I moved here, and now I actually know more people here than I did in the city I grew up in. I lived there for 17 years and I've been here for like about 3-4 years now. So my first tip is to go to places where things that are kind of like a hobby that you enjoy. So say for example, if you like coffee, you could go to a coffee shop. If you like going to the farmer's market, you could go there. If you like reading, you could go to the library or the bookstore. If you're into art, you could go to the museum. If you're into skating, you could go to the skate park or the roller rink. If you're into swimming and just being outside, you could go to a popular like swim spot, maybe like the river, maybe a tubing spot, a paddleboarding spot. I say this because if you go to these places, you're gonna run into people that enjoy doing something that you enjoy doing. So off the bat, you already have something to talk about. So honestly, I would just scan the room. When you see someone that's like close to your age that could be a possible good friend for you, honestly, what I've always done, and feel free to steal this, but I've always complimented something about either their outfit, their jewelry, their hair. I'll typically compliment them on it, and then I'll be like, where did you get this? Or how did you style your hair? And People are so nice. I feel like it can seem so intimidating to go up to people, but you would be surprised. People love having small talk and they love talking about themselves too. So that's typically how I start the conversation, and then I'm like, this place is so cute, like, have you been here before? I guess from that point, you could just make conversation about where you're at. And honestly, you just keep talking, just keep asking questions. Again, psychologically, people love talking about themselves. So if you just ask them a bunch of questions about themselves, psychologically, they're gonna think that they like you. Personally, when I try to end conversation, I always think about the thing that we had in common. So say we're at a coffee shop, then I would be like, we should totally grab coffee sometime. There's so many cute shops around here I haven't been to. Then I would give them my number, or I would ask for their Instagram. I kid you not, this method has been a 10 out of 10. It has never, not one time has it ever failed me. Every single person I've ever done this with, they've every single time given me their Instagram or their phone number. No one has ever been like, oh no. They're like so happy to do it. Cause honestly, like, I'm sure you know, in our generation, it is hard to make friends. Literally everyone is thinking that. So don't be scared, just shoot your shot, cause the worst they could say is no. But they're not gonna say no, like, I promise you. Another tip I have is going to a social setting where you know that people are there to socialize. For example, my church, they have this young adult night thing. It's once a week, and young adults from the ages 18 to 25, they go to church. And literally every single person that goes to this is going for two reasons. One, to nurture their faith, but another, to meet people their age that are interested in something that they're interested in. Try doing research on Google and Instagram to find local events in your area, because I promise you they happen. You just have to do a little bit of research. So by putting yourself in these spaces, you are so much more likely to make friends, because people are there to also make friends. The last thing I have to say about friendships is just to nurture the friendships and even just the relationships you have in life. Honestly, meeting someone and getting their number, that can be the easy part. But if you're not putting effort to make plans to hang out or saying yes when they invite you to hang out, then what's gonna happen is y'all either just are not ever gonna end up being friends, or that friendship is gonna kind of just trickle away. So if you want to have a solid circle and solid friends in your life, definitely just spend time, put effort into those relationships. And finally, let's talk about creating a routine that you enjoy. So again, you want to think about, what do you already have that's set in stone in your schedule? This could be work, school, any responsibilities that you have to do on this day at this time, and then everything else you're wanting to add to your routine. Put these things in spots that make sense. I highly recommend doing the hard things first, because you want to get the hard thing out of the way instead of going on throughout your day and say it's later in the day and you're like, I know I need to do this really hard thing, and then a lot of the time you're just not going to end up doing it. So try to do the hard things in the beginning of the day. Overall, what I want you to keep in mind is to be successful with this lifestyle change, with getting out of this rut and staying out of it. The reality is you can't go from 0 to 100. I mean, you can, but if you try, what's gonna happen is you're gonna go back to being in a rut after a few days. And I know you probably wanna jump full force into implementing everything I just said in this video into your schedule. But the reality is that's gonna be such a shock to your body. And I think if you do everything all at once, it's not all gonna stick. I highly recommend choosing 1 or 2 things that I talked about in this video, focusing on those first, being consistent with those things so they can become a part of your routine, like set in stone. And then once those things are a part of your routine, then you can go on to focusing on the next thing. Or if you're really eager and you really want to try out everything, I say just go by the 1% rule, which is pretty much just growing 1% daily in each of the areas that I talked about. But I'm gonna be so real, I did the 1% rule. It didn't really work out that well for me. That's just my experience. It does work really well for some people. So I say it's worth trying, but to be honest, like, I'm gonna keep it so real. If you truly wanna make that lifestyle change that's gonna stick and stay for the rest of the years to come, I really recommend focusing on 1 or 2 things, because I don't know, I'm the type of person that I've been in a rut so many times, and doing what I just said, like focusing on 1 or 2 things, it has worked. I highly recommend saving this video to either your watch later playlist or even liking this video so you can come back to this later on in the future. I think this video is going to be super helpful to come back to in the future after you've already, implemented a few things in your routine, or even just to have as a reminder on how to get out of a rut when you find yourself in one. I truly do understand, because I've been in your position so many times before, and that's why I made this video, because I feel like I'm finally in a really good place, and all of these tips I told you I've genuinely used. So I really hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, make sure to like this video. It really helps out my channel. And also, if you want to keep up with me on Instagram or Snapchat or TikTok, I'll go ahead and put those on the screen. I'll also link them in the description because yeah, I do post on all those other platforms too. So if you want to keep up with me, go follow me on there. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, make sure to subscribe so you can be up to date and see all of the videos I'm going to post in the future. And yeah, I think that's everything for this video. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.